Roberto, good morning.
Good morning, gents.
Good morning.
Delighted with the response, Roberto. We knew the game in Kiev would be tough, but so many goals in the game, so it was very important you bounced straight back against, someone below you in the table.
Well, it was, Alan, because throughout this season it's been a real challenge to be able to get a win after playing in Europe, and especially after a big night that it was in Kiev. As you can imagine, the emotions. We had huge expectations. We were really excited about the prospect of getting into the quarterfinals, and it was a game where the home side took advantage of playing at home, and that happens in Europe. But for us to be able to react and being able to perform against a Queen's Park Rangers side that, as you know, every home game is going to be a final, it was very pleasing.
Roberto, are you worried? It's weird. I think we've talked before about the goalkeeper, having a funny start to the season, let's say that, but now getting back on track. Just goals conceded. I don't remember Everton. Everton a stubborn side, a hard side to get past, and just goals conceded. Has that been a puzzle to you this year?
Well, no, I think the game in Europe was a one-off situation, and when I say a one-off situation is that you don't get games where probably we started a little bit slow and then we got the away goal. Once you get 1-1, we were in total control for 4 or 5 minutes. And then in 19 seconds, coming from our corner, we scored. We conceded 2 goals. Like, you're not going to get that normally. That's a freak in football. But that happens when you are in Europe, when you're away from home, when you're facing the home crowd. It was a quite unique event for them. And we had more chances at the home team. And those things happen. I think Danny will tell you, when you go into Europe, they are quite unique occasions that you have to adapt. You have to adapt to the opposition. You have to adapt to the conditions of the pitch, of what it means. And we found that we were a little bit loose for a period of 19 seconds, and it cost us dearly.
Yeah.
But the lessons, they've been there. Obviously, with a team that last season we showed what we are and what we can do in the league. This season has been very difficult to show the same level, to go into the same just type of performances. But there are reasons, and obviously Europe, we all want it to be a fantastic experience, and it's been a fantastic experience, but it's cost us too much in the league, and that's something that we need to take advantage, because we are a different team now than we were before the experience that we had in Europe, even though it's been very, very difficult and demanding during the campaign to be able to perform with the same standards.
Roberto, well, on a more positive note, my old team, Aaron Lennon, scoring the winner for you at the weekend. Is he now starting to show some of the form that you expected, and will there be a chance of making that more permanent?
Well, since day one, he's come in and he's showed an incredible appetite, and he's got really close to the players and to the club. I thought against Newcastle, he played very well. And from that point, I didn't want him to lose that feeling, and I asked him to travel to Kiev, and obviously he couldn't play in that game, but he was around with the group, and I thought we benefited from that. He looked, in the game yesterday, he looked like a player that has been at Everton for years. He took responsibility. It seemed that he knew that he was fresh, that he had fresh legs, and the way he performed was magnificent, not just in what he did in front of goal and scoring the winner. That obviously that's the eye-catchy part. I think the way he worked, it was a real help in defense, and it was a really, really strong performance. And all I want from Aaron is for him to enjoy his football until the end of the season. We got 8 very important games, 24 points to fight for in the league. You can imagine that is a big part of the season, and Aaron needs to be a big part of that.
And Roberto, you talk about fresh legs. It brings me on to, with the World Cup debate, now it'll be played December. Is it time now, especially with European results didn't go our way, the English teams, now none left, everyone out of Europe, is it time now to seriously say, come on, we could have 2 weeks off in January, just give the players a break, freshen them up?
Well, I think, Alan, this is a moment that it should come a big debate. And it's not normal that no English teams are in Europe. And I'm not saying that that's an excuse. Some of the ties, they've been really small margins, but it's not normal that our English teams, they're not in the European competitions. Then you're looking at around the other leagues, they've got breaks in Christmas or in the winter. That allows the body to regenerate. They play less than 3,000 minutes, and then they can do a completely different planning. And those effects, you can see them in the games.
2 weeks enough, Roberto? Would a fortnight be enough, or do they need more?
No. Sometimes anything, you don't want too long, because obviously that could have a reverse effect. Anything between 7 and 10 days is perfect to be able to refresh physically but mentally as well. And from that point of view, I think it would be fair. Remember that in the Premier League there are no easy games. You have to perform. The intensity, the physicality. Other leagues, the teams that they are involved in Europe, they can cruise through many games.
Yeah.
They even great preparation for the games in Europe. And I think it's a shame. It's a shame because European competitions are important. They are part of what we are as a nation, to show what we are in Europe. And I think it's important to have that debate and try to help the players to be able to perform.
Yeah, Roberto, did you watch the Clásico last night? Were Real Madrid maybe a bit unlucky that Gareth Bale goal chopped off?
Well, they were. I think it was offside, just marginally, from Cristiano Ronaldo, but they created the better chances. And the difference between the two sides is minimal, absolutely minimal. But it was strange to see a team like Barcelona being able to win that sort of game, because normally it's the team that needs it most that they win those sort of games. So for me, it's a big advantage now for Barcelona to win the league.
Roberto, finally, with only 8 games to go, what is it? Just a case of win as many as you can, see where it takes you?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, remember that for us, we were really disappointed just to be knocked out in Europe, but we're all aware as well that it's not an easy feat. The last time that we got into quarterfinals was 30 years ago, but now we got the focus on 24 points. We need to fight and see how many we can get. For us, it's a very, very important part of this season, because there are many things that we need to do in terms of the future, and the next 8 games are going to be pivotal to see where we can finish in the league.
And Roberto, Lukaku is very important for you now. The goals are coming. I see ball accounts there's a bid from Wolfsburg over 30 million. He's not going anywhere, is he?
Well, Romelu has been an incredible, just to see him develop and see him a young man. We made a big investment, but obviously he's only 21. His goal scoring record is incredible. But I always highlight his attitude on the day-to-day and wanting to be the best. And you're looking at a player now that he can play Thursday, Sunday. He can take responsibility. He can take footballing concepts on. It's been impressive to see him grow in the last 10, 12 months. And obviously, we would love just to see him for the long run and see him grow with us. That will be our objective. But the time that he's having with the team has been very impressive, and we're going to see someone developing into a quite special footballer.